Well, in a nutshell, Great Potential just really worked for us. It was a great use of our money, great use of our time. It achieved results that far surpassed what we expected, and it was a lot of fun too. I'm Betsy Shaffer, and I'm a teacher locally here at Bellevue Santa Fe Charter School.
Oh, cool.
And I called Great Potential about my son Nick, who's going to be a senior at SLO High, to get information about the SC. The first thing that I noticed right away about John when he came to the house is that he was a really good fit for Nick. He was very low-key and intelligent, and just sort of made Nick feel at ease, and that was really a nice start. And I remember talking to you on the phone and just getting some information about Nick, and I felt like it really turned out to be a good match, and I know that's what you were setting up to do, and it turned out to be a really nice match, and I could tell that right away when John came. And Nick was pretty reticent to do tutoring at all. He, I think, wasn't wanting to do it at first. He realized he needed to, but he didn't really want to. So John eased him into it in a way that really worked, I think, and to counter his. John was always on time. He called to confirm appointments. There was one time we had a little. I had a problem with the time, and I had to cancel, and he rescheduled with no problem. He got a lot out of the time that he was here. I was really impressed by how much he got done in that hour and a half sessions that they worked together. And he showed a lot of concern for Nick. I mean, he called and asked questions. He followed up on some things. He checked on how he was doing in terms of the essays he was working on at home. And he really showed a genuine concern for him. Yeah, John was really great at relating the information to Nick, and also just gave him a comfort on how to attack the material. It was obvious he knew his stuff in terms of the language section, but he also could break it down into really precise steps that he could follow, and he really showed Nick the method to the madness sort of the test. He got him to really see what they're looking for and sort of how to break down the test, and really gave him a confidence that if he just applied certain strategies, he would 9 times out of 10 get it right. So
awesome.
That was really an eye-opener for both of us, for Nick and for him, that he could apply these strategies and really increase his chances of getting the answer. It's true inside of the reading section, because Nick's always been a great reader, but his test score didn't reflect it, and I couldn't figure out why, because he's always scored on other tests high. He's a great critical reader. But what John showed him was how to really read that kind of passage to get what the testing people wanted out of it. And it gave him some strategies, some scanning strategies, and how to pre-read the test questions, and how to eliminate answers that couldn't be right, and to do that in a timely fashion. And it really improved his score, and that's the one that went up the most, the critical reading score.
How much did it go up?
Let's see, his score in math went up 100 points. His score in critical reading went up 110, and that would have left his reading to go up 90.
Awesome.
And the most significant thing to me was his essay, because his essay went from a 6 on the grading scale to a 10 on the 12-point scale. Well, in this particular case, it means the difference between getting into a college he wants to go to or not, because unfortunately scores really make a huge difference. And he has the grades. He's always had good grades, but he's going to be one of those kids that he's going to now, because of increasing his score 300 points, be a really solid candidate for some UC and state schools, whereas it would have been very conditional before that. Oh, I think it was a tremendous investment. I mean, I would do it again easily. It built confidence. It increased his scores. I'm a teacher. I've been a teacher for 24 years, and I know how to teach, and I know how to work with children. But when it's your own son, and it's something that's important, and he's 17, and doesn't really want to sit down and take my advice, to have a person that's different come in, a person with some expertise, a person that he can relate to on a different level than a parent, made a huge difference. Just to be able to elicit his support and encouragement to Nick, and have him have someone else do that. And in his case, particularly a male tutor, I think that was really great for him to have somebody that he could relate to like that. It was definitely worth all the money, and I can't imagine being able to do it without the help we had. I think we got started within days of setting up the first appointment. So I was really pleased by how quickly we got the ball rolling and got started, because I sort of waited a little late to get going on this process, and I got concerned about the deadline. So I was really pleased by how readily available you all. I recently did that. I recently referred you to someone else who has a student that's not preparing for SATs but needed some additional summer tutoring. But what I said was that what I appreciate most about it is you are willing to sort of tailor the tutoring and the kind of person that works with a child to the child's needs. And as a teacher myself, that I know how important that is, because no matter how well you know your subject matter, doesn't mean you're going to be effective with any one particular child. So it really is about the style and the delivery and the variety. And what I would say to anyone is, really give it a try, because there's no way to know until you try, and it made a huge difference with my son. And like I said, he was already kind of reticent to do it, so yeah, he's a tough. I had been referred to Great Potential by someone else that I knew and trusted, and who was working with this organization, and wasn't sure at the time I would need to do any tutoring at all with my son. But then when that came up, that's what I remembered, and it was a wonderful referral. And I had also remember seeing a lot of the local ads and billboards, and then I actually talked to Nick about it. I said, well, we're going to be needing to do this one way or another. Do you have any preferences? And he himself knew of several people that were already working with Great Potential, and he kind of said, well, yeah, that's what one of the things that I like about this is the flexibility of it. It's not just, this is the way we do SAT prep. It isn't, we're going to do this, and this is how we do it, and you got to spend this many hours this way, and that way, the flexibility. And that's one thing that I think we didn't talk about that was really important, the flexibility of designing it to the needs of the student. Because in Nick's case, he didn't need to work on the math. He didn't need to, he wasn't going to study all that vocabulary. So, really designing the time and spending it with the most efficient way for each individual student. And I know that other programs don't do that. They just, here's the course, here's the book. In a nutshell, Great Potential just really worked for us. It was a great use of our money, great use of our time. It achieved results that far surpassed what we expected, and it was a lot of fun.